Good evening, everyone. So, as usual, we're going to wait for 5 minutes after 7. So, wait for 5 minutes after 7 just to allow others to join us. I don't know if it's because we used to wait 5 minutes after 7. That's why people always come, people always join in late. But let's just wait a bit for a few minutes for others to join us, then we'll get started. Okay, so I think it's 5 minutes after 7. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I understand it's Friday and it's Friday evening. And a lot of people like to step out on Fridays. So we really appreciate you guys spending your time with us. And I'm hoping to see you guys tomorrow as well at the physical event at Cafe One. So we've gone through a series of different AI-based technologies and methods for doing your research to find out problems. So one of the things we expect during the presentations tomorrow is an impactful pitch, right? And that's why we have this session today. So this session is designed to tell you what is expected in your pitch that will sell your idea. I remember in the first day, I mentioned that in most cases, trust me, your users don't care about the technology that is behind your application, right? The average user does not care. An example is Google Maps. People use Google Maps every day. If you are tomorrow, if you're using Bolt to get to the venue, ask the Bolt driver if he knows that Google Map is built on XYZ technology. Tell you that, how does that concern him, right? So we're going to focus today on how to, what is expected of a proper pitch deck. And our speaker for today is Raymond Oiaga. He's a technical founder, a software engineer, and has spent a decade building impactful solutions. And he has worked in very diverse fields, right? He has a passion for AI and Web3. So, and the domains he has worked in, they are very, very diverse. He has projects in sales, healthcare, real estate, and edutech, right? So he has vast experience that he's going to share with us today. So without wasting, I'll just usher in our speaker. Raymond, I think you can take over.
All right, thank you very much, Baka. Appreciate that. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Baka. And thank you very much for the opportunity. And I would really say it's really nice to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to, speak to everyone about, pitching and, talking about telling someone your idea or getting someone to buy into your idea. It's really fun. So I would start off by introducing myself, talk a few things about my experience, what I do, and everything. And then I would also share my screen and present like a document and show you guys step by step the act of pitching, how to make a powerful pitch, how to tell someone the solution you're providing, the problem you're solving in a way that it makes sense and it's very relatable. So, all right. As you already know, my name is Oiaga Raymond. I'm a software engineer. I'm based in Abuja, and for a while, I've been working on several projects with a lot of team. I have a team myself that I work with, and we build all kind of stuff. And I think this part, why we're having this session, is very important because in startup life, when you're building a solution, it's one thing to build something, it's another thing to be able to put it out there, tell people about it, pitch it, basically. And I think that's why we're having this section. So I'm a software and technical founder. I founded several solutions in real estate. Founded Realtivers, a solution that help people in real estate spin up a real estate website with everything inclusive. Multi-service listing, AI, property checker, document checker, land verification, everything just setting it up. And I've also worked with AI agents. I will talk a little bit more about some of the things I've worked on why we carry on with this section. So let me share my screen and proceed. All right. So we'll start off with we'll use this document to talk about how pitching works, how to make a powerful pitch, and everything we need to do. So the first thing is people don't buy ideas. Everybody have ideas. Everybody have, some really cool, incredible ideas, $1 million idea. And, they think since it's cool and it's fascinating to them, everyone should just buy into it. But the truth is people don't just buy ideas. People buy solutions that they have problems with. People buy solutions to problems they understand. So your goal as a founder or a product owner or a developer that is trying to provision a solution to a problem is to make
Can you guys hear him?
No, I think we lost him for a bit. I think his
Yes, I
internet,
think we
or maybe
lost
the
him.
rains.
Okay. That's a challenge with doing any stuff that has to do with internet around the rainy season. If you're using wireless internet, then you're in trouble. Let's just wait a bit for him to reconnect. I think we might need a DJ in this community, someone that will be giving us good music if we have such times like this. Just like a waiting kind of sound. Obed. It's Obed here. Mishak Obed. I don't even want to ask if you're at home. I wanted to find out if you've upgraded your DJ certification. Oh, thank God. So subsequently, you may be the one helping us when we're in situations like this. Maybe still trying to join in. So he's about to join back now. So let's just wait a few seconds till he'll join us. I think while we're waiting, let me see if I can share the process of applying your credits, right? Especially for using for the Gemini AI.
You will need to log in with your personal Gmail account. Now that's very important. Google Cloud on-ramp credits. You will need to log in with your personal Gmail account. Now that's very important to not use a business Gmail account, but use your personal Gmail account here. And then you will be able, the coupon code is pre-filled for you. You don't need to put in any credit card details. So that's really neat. You just click accept and continue here. And so the credits are then applied successfully. So what happens is that there's a new billing account that's created for you, and it'll be created with this Google Cloud Platform trial billing account. Now, they will always have the same name. So if you often attend different events, what I recommend is that you rename this billing account, for example, to like your AI Studio Hackathon, or whatever, event you're attending. So that will make it a lot easier for you to import it later into Google AI Studio. So now that it's renamed, what you can do is you can click to create a new project. So here you can click on your projects. You can just say new project, and you can say, for example, AI Studio Hackathon. And so now you need to make sure that you select the billing account that you had earlier here. So we called it AI Studio Hackathon. So that's why it's important that you rename it, and then you create your project here. And so once that project is created, okay, so you see now the project is created, you can click select project. And then also you can double check your credits when you go on billing here, and so we go to the linked billing account, and then within the billing section we'll have the credit section, and then we can see here that our credits are applied. We didn't have to provide any credit cards, so once our credits run out, our API will just stop working. So that's great for our hackathon, so we don't need to worry about that. So now we have our billing account renamed, we have our project created and linked to the billing account. So now what's really neat is that we can go to ai.dev, and we can go to the Get API Key section here. And what we need to do is we need to create a new API key that we can use for our project. So again, we might call it, the event that we're at, AI Studio Hackathon. And then important, we need to import our project. And so this might take, a couple minutes to sync here. But, if your new kind of project doesn't show up, maybe just give it a refresh and try again. So you select your project, and then you will need to click import here. So now our AI Studio Hackathon is available here, and we can create our API key. And so now this new API key, we can use it in Google AI Studio for building our projects. We can also here, once we take our application out of AI Studio, for example, we can click to copy the API key. And so this will be linked to the same billing account with the same credits. And so we can validate that as well. If we go back to the dashboard, we go to the playground, and what we can do is here kind of a new, so for example, for images, for Nano Banana Pro, we'll need to link an API key. And so what we can do here is we can select our AI Studio Hackathon, and then our API key is here already. We could save it as the default key. But so now we're ready to go, and we can use AI Studio in its full capacity for our hackathon. All right, perfect. I hope this is helpful, and happy hacking. Cheers.
So I just hope everyone has seen those steps. I've seen that they are pretty straightforward. I think Raymond is having like a very serious battle with his internet, right? But I believe we can have a conversation around this topic. So let's just have a general discussion just to see if he comes back within the next few minutes. Is there anyone that can tell us what they feel is, okay, what's your favorite tech product? Let's start from there. Or let's make it even a little bit more, okay, let's just have the general one. What's your favorite tech product? And please do not say Gemini, right? Because that's not a favorite tech product, or ChatGPT or whatever. Let it be something that solves a problem for you. Is there anyone that want to tell us what their favorite tech product is? Tiny fish, right? How many people know what tiny fish is? If you know what tiny fish is, please raise your hand. Apart from Isa. So, sir, can you tell us what tiny fish is and why it's your favorite tech product? I don't know if you can unmute yourself and just speak.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. The reason why I love
Good
Tiny
evening.
Fish is that it's a serverless evening. Tiny Fish is a serverless agent. So basically, what that means is an AI agent that you don't need to necessarily deploy on your system. You can use API calls to sort of trigger it, and then it's able to sort of do commands like write, read, search, able to go to websites, interact with the websites, put in data, able to access the DOM. It's even quite smart enough as well to even bypass capture tools. You see bot detection tools. So it's a very, very deep and versatile tool. For my use cases for products I build, I do a lot of sort of scraping and fetching of data and then RAG models. So I find Tiny Fish to be a very, very powerful tool. Aside from the fact that they actually give you free credits to actually build out, and then those credits are even more than enough for you to also build sort of your client base as well.
That's nice. I guess people have alternatives now in their web scraping. Because when you mentioned navigating through DOM, bypassing capture, the first thing that came to my mind is web scraping. Because I know one of the major challenges in web scraping is capture. It's all those security measures that we put there just to make sure that we don't scrape data. And I don't know if you've heard of Apify. Apify, a platform where you can sell scraped data, even though they have their own tool. I think they call it Crawly. So you can use the Crawly tool but then they have like a full-on, like from scraping to hosting on their platforms, and you can have subscribers there that can now be subscribed to your scraped data. I think Raymond is back. Yeah, so there's actually someone that worked with Apify. I want to see if we can get a session with him one of these days in the community, especially for people that are into like web scraping, data analysis, because people will make a lot of money from Apify. So hopefully we'll get him to join us one of these days. So Raymond, you can take over.
All right, thank you very much, Baka. Sorry about that. I had to switch my network. So let me share my screen again. All right, so I will just start over. So yeah, from the first thing I said, people don't buy ideas, they care about solutions more. They care about their problems and how you can make their problems go away. And so on the left-hand side here, we have, what you shouldn't do. And on the right-hand side, you have what you should do. So people, like I said, care about so they don't care about how what you're feeling about the project. They just care about if it's really solving their problem or not. Also, people like things to be very clear. On the back end side, you can have a lot of complexity. You can focus on the complex side there, but anything involving pitching to people, you don't want to involve all those complex parts. You just want to be precise, to be clear. This includes like even if you're explaining how you built it, if it's involving a model, if you're talking about the technology, the workflow, the process. As a developer, you should be able to explain that, unless when you are asked. But people usually, when pitching, they just go straight to that because they want to maybe show that they are an expert in the field, or they that's just how they want to explain the solution. But to someone listening, they don't want to hear that. That's just some technical technical things. So you want to be clear, you want to be precise, you don't want to, you want to keep things simple. And also you don't focus on the product, you don't focus on the features in the platform, you don't focus on the solution, the services, the product itself. You focus on the problem. For example, if you're building something that, for example, that maybe sends out email automation to users, you don't want to focus on the solution to show them this is how it works. You create this, you do this, you do that. Maybe you create a campaign, then from a campaign you create a note, then you have to create like a SMTP settings. You don't have to show them all about those technical parts, if I should put it that way. You should focus on the problems, like the problem you're solving. The problem that this one is solving, that I just gave, the email marketing stuff, it's solving reaching out, outreach. It's solving communicating with your users, marketing your product. So that's what you should be talking about: the problem, the solution it's solving, not the solution itself, because it will overwhelm the listeners, it will overwhelm the customers, it will overwhelm anybody listening to your pitch. And also people don't rely on explanations. Even if you're trying to explain it to the core where it's getting to their head, like they will get the point, they will understand you very well, but it's not going to, you won't get any positive response, because people are driven by emotions. And the only way you can trigger that emotion is if you talk about the problem. So they'll imagine it and also still remember the pain. And that's all about emotion. And then when you're talking about your solution, they're imagining how it will be and how the transformation would be. So that also has to do with emotion. So people are driven by emotion. And so let us give like a real case study of how you can pitch, and how you can start off with, give it like a perfect pitch. For example, we would use business, like a company, maybe any startup, real estate, e-commerce, any business at all that deals with customer. Business lose customers every day. So we're using a case study of business. And the first thing you want to do is to focus on the problem. You want to remind them what the problem is. And for this case study, we're focusing on the problem that businesses usually have, which is they lose customers every day. They get slow replies, they get missed messages, no follow-up. Somebody might ask question, and the person might be interested, but because they are busy doing something else, they tend to not, attend to other people. And if they want to solve that kind of thing, usually they hire people to follow up and all that, which some of those people might also miss some. So that's the problem. They are not efficiently capturing 100% of everybody that comes their way. It's a normal thing. So this is a problem that we've cited, and this is a problem that it's on the table, right? And now you talk more about the problem. Most builders rely on manual process. Usually there used to be like an existing process that solves something that you're already working on. So that stuff, for example, if you're building a solution, an e-commerce solution, right, or a sales solution, there are already e-commerce solution or sales solution that have existed, that you probably made research on, you knew about them. It's always good to highlight them and highlight their lapses, because that is why your own exists. You can create something that already existed and create exactly that stuff. It doesn't make sense. You're supposed to look at what's already existing in a solution you're trying to solve for a problem, and then make your own solution better or add something so that you can get users that those other solutions are not yet captured, or you can get everybody users like other solutions. You can steal their users, or all their users to come to you if your solution is better off, or you can get a market that solution exists for, but the solution that exists, so they need to be an existing solution, and that they are relying on, or they are solving that problem. So in this use case, businesses are relying on manual process. There's already a solution. People maybe manually track things. People write people's name down, they log it, they download their they export their lead capture data from their website every day so that they know if new people comes and they can follow up. People manually do that stuff, right? Like long before now, people manually do all those stuff. But now, the next thing you do is, after talking about the problem, you talk about the solution. So we're going step by step. The first one is the problem. Now the next one is the solution. So you're talking about your solution. Your solution should just precisely solve the problem and help them see how it will be. Help them imagine them the solution, the problem is being transformed. Like they will be seeing the transformation of how everything will be just by explaining to them. So the solution has to come just after the problem, so that they are seeing the essence of why you're even giving the pitch. Usually, if they say you have maybe 10 seconds to give a pitch, you're not supposed to start from the problem and go back to introduce yourself. That would just be more than 10 seconds. Or maybe you can say so much in 10 seconds. But if you have so very short time, you just want to focus on your solution that you're creating. But a standard pitch, given enough time, you should start with the problem, then talk about the solution that precisely solve that problem. So for this use case, because businesses lose leads every day and they are operating on the manual process every time. Many businesses still do that now. Your solution is to provide an automated system. So this is something we could, sell. This could be your idea. This could be your project. Your project could be something else, but that's a solution for a different problem, and it follows the same process as far as pitching is concerned. So you just want to highlight precisely what the solution is. And the solution for an automated system could be its response instantly. You want to clarify how that works. You want to talk about it, that if a customer visits your website or sends you a message, the AI system responds instantly without a human being involved 24/7, even while they sleep. It is faster response time. It is immediately. It follows up automatically because it's all coded, it's all AI, there are no mistakes. And it's more revenue because you will capture all of them, all the users that is coming to your website. You will capture it instead of manually, doing it. Instead of losing your customers every day, you're using an automated system. So you're presenting the solution in a way that it seems like this is exactly what they need. This old way is just going to slow them down. It's not just going to slow them down. You should show it to them that it's slowing them down. And they should be able to relate. It's not something you can fake. It's not something you can just cook up. It's something that has to be real. So you need to be speaking to the right target audience. If they are not interested or they don't understand what the problem is, then maybe you're not talking to the right target audience. So yeah, when you're done presenting the solution, you talk more about the features, the solution, how each of the solution is broken down into layers, how it works. In this case, we are helping them, engage with their customers using AI automatically. That's what this smart automated solution is for. This is the solution for the problem. And right now in this place, it's saying a customer reaches out at late at night. So like I said, a customer can send a message at any time, even when they're offline, they're asleep or they are logged out, but the system can respond. That's what a lot of these AI tools does. So you just want to highlight the features extensively, to the best of their knowledge. And because you've already talked about the problem and people just want to see how well your solution can solve that problem. So there is a blueprint and it's more like a formula, if you can see. And there are 3 boxes and the combination of the 3 boxes results into the result that the solution lies on. That's the transformation. So this place is where the transformation happens. So you can have like a short tagline about your solution. For example, you can say, we help. Who do you help? The target audience. What's the target audience of your solution? For example, in our own use case, our target audience are businesses, business owners, professionals, people that deal with leads, clients, business owners, basically. So that's our who here. So we help business owners plus solve what is the problem that they are facing. Like I said, the first thing is the problem. When you want to start pitching, you, as far as you're talking to your target audience, you want to start with the problem. So we help business owners solve, then you talk about the problem. So this case, we help them solve the problem of losing customers daily. We help them solve the process. We help them solve the issue where they have to rely on manual processes. You know, those are all the problems. Yours could be different. Yours could be you are helping them automate this. You're helping them build this. You're helping them, scan this. That could be your own problem, that you're solving. So you want to highlight the problem, and then using. So you have to put the solution here. So a real statement could be, for this our solution that we're working on. We could say we help business owners solve, what's the problem we're solving again? Issues with losing customers daily by using an AI automated system so that they can capture every list that comes to their platform or come to their website. So the result is the transformation. The solution, what you're using here for the third box is the solution. That is where your solution comes in. That is where you talk about everything you're building, the features of how each of the features is solving each of the problems here, and then who is the target audience. So this is more like very straightforward. If you put it this way, you could craft a perfect tagline for what you're building, and it could be really helpful. So there are common mistakes and that people make when pitching, and then people use too many technical language. You want to, because a technical product or because you're a technical person, you use too many technical terms, and you expect maybe people will understand, or it shows your level of understanding on the project, which is fine. But if you're speaking with, unless you're speaking with technical people, maybe that is allowed. Or if you're, and not just any technical people, maybe technical people in that field that to understand what you're talking about, then it's allowed. But if you're pitching an idea, you're talking to a target audience or an investor or people who you want to get their thoughts on, you want clarity over complexity. You want it to be very simple, precise, focus on the problem, the solution. In simple terms, you, instead of explaining too much, you use emotions. You remind them what the problem is. You remind them how the transformation will be when they get the solution. The solution solves the problem. That emotion is what you should focus on. So the common mistake people make is they starting with your product or talking too long. When you're starting with your product itself or you're talking too long, you're boring people out, and you're not having an effective pitch right there. So it's confidence over perfection. So sometimes you might want to say some things, you might now slow down or pause or start to think because you want to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect when you're giving a pitch. Just think of it like you're trying to talk with someone, like having a normal conversation. If you're having a normal conversation with someone and you make a mistake, maybe a grammatical error or a blunder, you can easily just say sorry and continue like a normal conversation without making it look odd. But if you're very cautious and you're trying to be very perfect, you don't want to make any mistakes, not even just grammatical errors, maybe technical mistake, or say something about a process that's not supposed to be, you might now want to start to, distort how the pitching is going, because you would lose your confidence. You'll be slowing down. You'll be doing a lot of thinking while you're talking, and it might just ruin the whole thing. So you just want to be confident. You want to make sure you know exactly what you're building, and even with your eyes closed, you can explain it. So there will be no room for any lapses or any technical issues. And when you speak very confidently. You speak without fear. You speak like you understand what you're doing. So you prioritize confidence. You try as much as possible to be perfect as well. I'm not downsizing perfection, but you prioritize confidence over perfection. I think that's just the main thing, because when you're talking with someone and you're trying to prioritize emotion over explanation, you're trying to be precise, and you're not confident while doing it, it will just feel very odd. You know, they are in a state already, so you need to be in that higher state so that you can easily pitch your project to them. So that's why confidence is very important. A simple idea explained clearly can win. Instead of complicating things, instead of having too many grammars or explaining too many stuff, you could just have a simple explanation for your idea, a simple explanation for your project. If it's explained very clearly, it can win. It's better than having, you know, a very complicated solution that, you know, someone needs to start reading or googling what this means before they can understand your idea. Then that's a wrong direction. So we've come to the end of this slide. I think I will share it later on with Baka. If anyone needs access to it, you can have access to it and you can use it. So thank you very much, everyone. Baka, over to you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, Raymond. I don't know if there are any questions
Thank you, sir.
for him. So if you have any question, you can just type it in the chat. But let me just highlight a couple of things that he mentioned, right? He said it's always good for you to speak to people's emotions. You can never underestimate the power of speaking to people's emotions. How many people watch American Idol? Yeah. Or how many people have seen a clip from American Idol? People don't want to raise your hand. Everybody here is let me say people are just lying. If you watch American Idol, right, the moment somebody says they came from Africa and they had one serious problem,
Exactly.
just watch what will happen. The person will most likely get a golden buzzer, no matter what. Or the person, once somebody just said they've lost their parents, they have cancer, it's just pure emotions, right? Even if you look at NGOs, when NGOs are fighting for like human rights, you think about the children, the women and children, they are speaking through emotions because people buy more based on emotions, right? So as much as you are excited about the technology, just know that the technology is just one part of it. That's why if you look at most tech companies, it's either you have people like Zuckerberg that goes to learn how to become more human, or you have people like Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs had what's near doing the technical work, but to understand people and to speak to what the people actually needed, that's where you now have someone like Steve Jobs, right? So one of the beauty of having a community as well is you can, if you are a very technical person and you feel like you are not perfect in speaking, right? You can always find co-founders that you can partner with, someone that you know that, okay, this person is not afraid, is always confident. Even, let me give you guys a story. When I was doing my undergraduate studies, when they were preparing us for final year presentation, our lecturer told us that, see, just be very, very confident. If you are very, very confident, even some of the lecturers will be scared to even ask you questions. So he now gave us an example of someone in one of the sets that presented his work. So I think he never put his work in full screen. So when he now just put the work in full screen, the whole UI just scattered, like everything was just all over the place. Then the guy just confidently told them that, as you can see, you can even scatter the UI. Everybody there started laughing, like, but the confidence with which he just said it, he didn't even look scared, he didn't look concerned. Everybody was just like, he just said, okay, like this guy, his confidence is just too much, and they just allowed him pass. So, yes, exactly. so that was what we expect, right? When you are going to pitch ideas, we're going to evaluate more of that tomorrow, but I want to really appreciate everybody for giving us their time, and hopefully every group will be ready tomorrow. Also, a piece of advice, I think it would be nice for you to record maybe like a 1-minute walkthrough of your solution so that we can play it there. The reason why I'm saying this is because live demos have their own complexities, right? So even if you want to do a live demo, it will always be better for you to also have a backup, which is a 1-minute video or so, just going through your entire application. So even when you are presenting, we can just be playing that in the background. So if there are no questions, or let me check. Okay, I don't think there are any questions. If there are no questions, I think we'll just see tomorrow. Wishing everybody a nice Friday night, and rest well against tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much.
What time tomorrow, please? What time tomorrow? I just joined late.
9 a.m. tomorrow. So if you signed up for the event,
Okay, thank you.
On the platform, you should see it. You should see the time, the location, and everything, right? So we're going to have 2 speakers tomorrow, but most of the time we're going to spend it having the presentations. Yes, the groups that are ready that have been able to come through to have a product ready to present will present tomorrow. So yes. So then after that, we now get into like some hands-on session from Google developer experts that will now walk you through some of the like building end-to-end products now. So I think with that said, we can continue our conversations in the WhatsApp group and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you.